Okay, there we go. Hey guys, I'm pretty sure I made this public. Almost positive I made this public. So I'm just hopping on here really quick to just kind of drop this channeling. Oh no, I don't know if it's public. Hold on a second. Put the live chat on. This thing, tech has been so glitchy today. It's like not even funny. Like I know we're in the pre-shadow for Mercury retrograde already, but good Lord. So I actually had this channeling come in when I was working on a little bit of a tarot project, if you will. And I was looking at the King and Queen of Wands and I started to get this download. And so I was like, oh, okay. Hold on. Hey guys, there you are. Hi, nice to see you. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. I'm Ellen Turtle. This is BOMISpirit. Hello. There we go. We got all the things out of the way. Yeah, so Monday was brutal. It was so brutal. Okay. All right, I guess we're just gonna do a little tangent really quickly. Yeah, I felt like I was hit by a Mack truck yesterday, which is why I didn't do the weekly yesterday. I didn't even have the bandwidth to even like post about it to you guys. Activation is brutal. Yeah, okay. You know what? Shoot. I feel like that's important to talk about. Oh, that actually coincides with a different channeling that I keep meaning to record. Um, about some timeline stuff actually, and some grounding some energy. I was taken down completely. Girl, me too. Me too. I feel you. Monday was brutal. Oh my God, my head is still hurting. Yeah, Monday was a lot. Monday was a lot. And Clyde has been just like glued to me today. Oh my God, feed an Epsom salt that feels right. Oh yeah, that's not, yeah. Definitely some spiritual baths need to be going down. A lot of physical movement. Okay, so the title of this video is going to be deceiving because it's important to talk about that actually. Um, Hold on, they said slow down. I know, slow down. Because I came on here because I had a love message actually. Um, Hold on, my team's talking to me. Give me a second. Okay, I'm still gonna do a proper video talking about all of that, about what was going on down Monday. And I already know that there's going to be some downloads about 4th of July. They've already kind of been like poking through, like during the Aloha Friday when I did the red, white, blue equals pink or becomes pink, something like that. 4th of July is going to be a really interesting window. I also want to say an interesting echo chamber, actually. But I will do a separate video for that. I want to stay focused on this love message, but I will say really quickly, if you guys felt like shit yesterday and today, maybe even a little bit of Sunday, depending on where you're at in the world, right? Your body may have been feeling pretty jacked. You may have been having a lot of like upper chakra stuff. For anybody who was feeling that, not everybody was, but I know. Hi. He's like, too much energy. But if any of you were feeling that or still are, a lot of water, a lot of rest, a lot of movement, a lot of breath work would be really helpful for you. Spiritual baths, I don't know if I said that. Getting in water would help a lot. But to get that energy moving, because that energy was basically energy trying to ground out. And anybody who's super sensitive would have just like absorbed that like a sponge. And so to like really get the energy grounded, you got to be moving quite a bit, or at least like flushing your system, just again, staying hydrated and resting if you even can. I will talk more about that in the next video channeling that I drop. Okay. But I have a love message today. And the way it came through was just like, there's a lot of beautiful things about this connection. But I tried recording it, and then Clyde jumped on the computer and totally shut the computer down. I was like, weird. And then I tried to record it again, and I finished it, and it even had a timestamp of like 1 hour, 14 minutes and 41 seconds, like 11441, and there was no sound. And I was like, what is happening? So then I'm like, F it. I'm just gonna hop on here and just talk about it real quick. I love all of everyone's like, Clyde is so handsome. I know he is. He's very handsome. He's a stunner and he knows it. Huh, I know. Same, having major headaches all day. Yeah. But I do want to get into this love reading, or at least love message really quickly. I'm just checking the time. Okay, 5:05. So, the King and Queen of Wands. I'm not gonna like redo the whole reading right here. It's just I literally spent over an hour on it, so I'm just gonna relay the important stuff here. So this message is for someone who like finds himself in a romantic connection where is it raining? No, that's my AC. It's hot as shit. It's really hot today. Um, this is for someone who finds themselves in a romantic connection where either like you've been dating for a while or you've been committed for a while. You could even have just been like talking. Don't mind him. Um, there could even have been there could even have been like nothing like really tangible romantically even happening, just like the energy is there. But it definitely is between a king and a queen of wands. And there was something about a 3 month significance. And I want to say probably something that started back in March or April around the spring equinox, I would say. Um, and I want to say mostly for the queen of wands, where the queen of wands seems to like have been slowly rising in their like fire in their hold on, just move the keyboard, rising in their power, rising in their picture of Clyde just came up on the computer. um Rising in their power, rising in their sovereignty, rising in their confidence, probably doing a lot of inner work, probably doing a lot of shedding. The frog came out for the queen of wands, as did the hawk and the vulture, and the lamb. And I was like, ooh, okay. And so queens, and I feel like the people I was reading for were for the queens, but I also felt some kings in there, so take it as it resonates, okay? Whoever is identifying as these queens, as the queen's energy. Actually, I still have my notes on. Whoa. All right, slid way too far, way too quickly. The Queen of Wands, yeah, recently moved into your power. And then something else that was coming up was, will you allow someone to take the lead in your space? I was like, interesting. And I could feel the triggering there. I could feel how that could trigger some people hearing that, right? It's not about dominance. It's not about control. It's not about being submissive. It's not even about gender roles or anything like that, if that's like where your brain was going there. It's this ability to like maintain your sovereignty alongside another person who wants to exercise their sovereignty, right? But like in a shared space, in like a give and take kind of a way is how that was coming through. And this King of Wands energy, hold on, they said talk more about the Queen of Wands. This Queen of Wands energy definitely seems to be in a space of like maybe even like another wave of like clearing, because I feel like this Queen of Wands has like already been through that. And I was getting to that there's a little bit of tricks of the ego, like tricks of the mind going on with the Queen of Wands, and to not allow certain like old insecurities and old things like that to run amok too much in your mind, especially if you are shedding queens. Interesting. Some of this may actually coincide with your cycle. Oh, for those who have a cycle, who have a menstrual cycle. Anyway, coming back. Yeah, because they showed me a shedding uterus, actually, which was interesting. But coming back to the queens, it does seem like there is like a little bit of like a release that's like happening. But when, and I've said this before, I think in the last podcast episode, when we release things, when things are being transmuted, they do come up like they're very real and they're very tangible, even if they're things that we thought we had made peace with. But that's because they're leaving, right? They need that recognition. They need to be seen. They need to be witnessed for them to like fully leave, right? So to not get stuck in the trap of like attaching to it, reliving it too intensely, but also just like observing it, right? Observing as it's like leaving. But that hawk, vulture, lamb energy, it definitely felt like there was a massive shift happening on the side of the Queen of Wands, but then it also felt very much like happening in the connection itself. Like whatever this queen is going through almost seems to be coinciding with a particular transformative moment of a certain connection. Is this another surprise love read? Yes, it is. I guess we're just going to be doing more love reads with Jupiter being in Cancer. There's been so much love readings going around. It's been very crazy. But coming back to the queen, yeah, there seems to be this like massive transformative moment. But I feel like the queens have already like, sorry, noise. I feel like the queens have already been in quite a bit of an uprising of their own power, like I said. in their journey. But this moment, I feel, I can't shake it. I think this might have to do with 4th of July too. And whatever I'm sensing with 4th of July as a window. And if you're a Queen of Wands, you're intuitive and you're sensitive and you're probably mystic like. So you could also be feeling that too. I just can't shake it. Interesting. Yeah, I just can't shake it. But anyway, this just seems to be a very significant moment for the Queen of Wands' particular individual journey, but it seems to be coinciding with some sort of important shift within a connection. Now, let's talk about the King of Wands. So the King of Wands, well, I do still have the cards here, so I can like hold these up as I'm talking. Okay. Now, the King of Wands, what I was getting is this King of Wands feels very inspired, very motivated by the Queen of Wands. And I kept hearing purpose. I kept hearing that over and over and over, and they were showing me the star card. And when I got to the part of the reading where I was like pulling cards, the star card did come out. And I was like, purpose. There it is. But it almost had this feeling of like the King of Wands was like waiting for like an opening. But as we pulled cards and progressed into the reading, it became clear that there's a lot of 9 of Swords energy on the King of Wands side, a lot of like fear and a lot of like stuff happening at night, I want to say, for the King of Wands. I was definitely getting some dream stuff, but we'll come back to that. But a lot of 9 of Swords energy, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, of just actually believing it. Like, I believe when I looked into the heart space of the King of Wands, it was the Star card, the 9 of Cups, as above, so below, right, of wish fulfillment. But I kept hearing purpose with that. And then the 9 of Swords, right? And the 9 of Swords came out twice, actually, on the King of Wands side. But this queen, again, take it as it resonates. This queen like just brings a lot of almost like muse-like energy, inspiration to the King of Wands. And then I was almost getting the feeling of like this like rising energy of the King of Wands as well. Like the queen has like been rising, and it's almost like because she's rising, the king is rising. And then it flashed me back to the love reading I did a while ago of like the owl, the cheetah. You all remember. Hold on. I know. You can actually lay down here if you want to, because I'm not pulling cards. Okay. He doesn't know how big he is sometimes. He literally just like shoved me off the table. Hold on. Gotta be a mom for a second. Literally, he's like, nope, my space. I'm like, all right. Anyway. And the way this king looks at this queen, that like it was a beautiful message actually to come through of looking at the queen and just seeing purpose. And I think at one point during the reading, if you have like shared, well, I think all of you would have shared eye contact. Like I feel like you two know each other. Like it's not like a secret admirer sort of a vibe. But I do want to say that if this is your message, there is not, very key, there is not an extensive shared romantic history. Meaning like if you have even been sexual or intimate, it probably hasn't been going on for a long time. It's probably been like 3 to 6 months maybe at most. And some of you, it's like not even in the dating stage yet. Right. So like that's kind of what I mean. Like between these two, there's not an extensive romantic history. This is not an ex, right? This like, you guys get it. Like this is not a married couple. Like you guys get it. Okay. But at one point, I'm seeing a spider. If memory serves, there was a point where the eyes. It was the eyes. Like the king sees truth in the eyes of the queen is how that was coming through. So again, it's a very like special connection. Don't want to lose my place. The other thing that came through on the king's side was, will the queen let the king shine so the queen can shine more? And it's funny because I'm just getting something now that didn't come up in the reading initially. The king saw the queen with the star, through the eyes of the star, through the eyes of purpose. Like the queen almost offers an opening of purpose for the king. And there's something about that, the shining. I didn't catch that before. Will the queen let the king shine so the queen can shine more? Now, what I'm about to say, again, could be triggering for some people. Take it as it resonates. I don't feel anything toxic here, okay? I don't feel anything toxic here. But I was getting this vibe of like the King of Wands does like thrive on purpose, like whoever this is, like they thrive on purpose, they thrive on growth. Um, even I'd even say ambition. Um, that feeds them. And there's something about like the role they want to play in the space of the queen, which is very specific, where they want to do that. They want to experience that. But there's almost this question of, is there like an opening, or is there an opportunity for that, or is that even like a thing? Is that even viable? Um, and I think it very much is. But the Nine of Swords on the King's side, I think they also have this, like, I think they're projecting a little bit of the fear in there. I think there is an opening. I think they don't think that there is. Because the Queen of Wands felt very much involved in their own process. The Queen of Wands felt very much involved in their own, like, ooh, I just got really dizzy. I just got hit with a wave of crown energy. It felt very much like the Queen's already like preoccupied in her own shit, her or his own shit, right? Gender not specific. But at the same time, the Queen was having like a Seven of Swords energy on her side, or his side. Interesting, I keep saying that. On his or her side, where again it was like doubt was creeping in, insecurity is creeping in, but I think that's because the Queen is shedding things. And again, when we shed things, we have to be careful not to like just suck it right back into our life and into our psyches. We have to like let it go. And I did feel space between the King and the Queen. It doesn't have to be physical space. It could just be emotional space. It could just be time, right? It could just be a little bit of quiet. But the King was very fixated. That was coming through very strong. They had the octopus on their side, with gazelle, turtle, peacock on their side. And that octopus energy just felt like fixation. And there were a lot of cards that came out very clearly indicating like they are very fixated on the Queen of Wands. Like just waiting for the opening, but deep down they're actually just scared. And the opening is there, right? Both sides were definitely having trouble trusting for sure. And just believing that like this wouldn't bite them in the ass, which is like pretty typical. But whatever the Queen is going through seems to be an important thing, process, moment, phase, and the Queen needs to move through that. Like that was very clear. The Queen needs to move through that for their own journey for themselves. But again, it seems to be like building into this transformative moment of this connection. Was there something else before I get into the other things? Ooh, the shared connection. So because it was a relationship read, I did the King on one side, the Queen on one side, and then the shared stuff, right? What's going on in the shared connection? What's going on in the shared mental space? And there was definitely some telepathy going on for some people, not for everybody, but some people. And then what's the shared emotional space? And like, it was like, it was really nice. The shared animal was hummingbird, which I think has been floating around in the collective a little bit. Beautiful energy. That's like a card of timing, whether it's divine timing or like now, like let's go. It also is a card of very positive energy, like a burst of positive, optimistic energy, radiance even. The rainbow was coming up quite a bit too. And then I did pull romance angels, and I believe the shared energy was make the effort, romantic feelings and finances and career, which I was like, oh, purpose. And I heard purpose again. Which, you know, this could be like a shared, like we feel each other, but we want to like build together kind of thing, right? Or it can also just be the potential for long term in someone's mind, which I think is more on the King of Wands side. There's a lot of there's a lot of struggle of belief going on in the Queen of Wands energy. But again, I think because of whatever the Queen is working through. There's a spider just having a blast over there, and I'm like, it's distracting me. So spider could also be significant for some of you. I'm just watching him. Anyway. Or her. What else was coming up here? The shared mental space made me laugh. It was Page of Swords, Knight of Wands, King of Swords, and then Page of Wands. So all swords and all wands, but with the two pages, the Knight of Wands and the King of Swords. So in the shared mental space, you were both like wanting to talk and wanting to act, and probably even both like peeking in on each other a little bit there, which I thought was kind of endearing and very cute. Um, the shared emotional space, even the individual emotional space, was very lovely. Like I mentioned, on the King of Wands side, their emotional space had the Star, the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. On the Queen side, it was the Emperor, the Sun, and the Ace of Swords. So the King of Wands looks at the King of Wands with purpose. The Queen looks at the King like, that's it, like that's my jam, that's like the person. But again, there's still some emotional things the Queen is like working through. And in the shared emotional space, it was the Empress, Emperor and Empress, Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands, and Two of Wands, and the Ten of Cups in the shared heart space of this connection. So both individuals here are feeling the potential of the Ten of Cups. But with that Two of Wands energy, it's a matter of just choosing it, really. It's getting noisy in here. It's just a matter of choosing it. Two of Wands sometimes comes out when we do actually need to like make a little bit of space to follow the Ace of Wands, to follow purpose, coming out again, to follow passion, to follow desire. And that is something that both people are feeling. So again, it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of timing. It's a matter of this Queen needing to process whatever it is that they're processing. Now let's get into some of the fun, like a little bit of the more like fun, spicy stuff, because there was some of that coming up in here. Some of you may resonate with Lyra or Lyrans. That was coming through quite a bit. I want to say on the Queen's end, but that could be a shared energy between you two. Really strong feline energy. Some of you could even be embodying just more cat-like energy at this time. And again, I really want to say that's on the side of the Queen. Lyran energy, Lyra, that actually is a constellation. It's associated with Capricorn though, so just to like put that out there. Now the Queens. I did get the word temptation, and I was like, interesting. Internalized sensuality, potential increase in your personal relationship to your sensuality. So that was coming through on the Queen's end. This is something that, again, feels like it's been building probably since spring equinox over springtime, where your own relationship to your sexuality has just been like slowly getting more healthy, more robust. I think is a good way to say that. You could have been doing a lot of like clearing your sacral. You could have been feeling a lot more creative recently. It's like getting in touch with that kind of vibes, right? But the King feels that. The King feels that. The King knows that. The King sees that. And they like it, of course. Yeah, I wrote down feeling yourself, Queen of Wands. You've been feeling yourself. You've probably been feeling a little bit more playful, more flirty. But again, it seems to be that there's this like recent emotional wave that's like been coming up or may come up around 4th of July. I'm telling you, there is some interesting portal something with the 4th of July. I need to sit with it more and do that channeling. But yeah, and on that same token, I remember when I was reading on the King of Wands side, there were some things that kind of bled through, which I thought was interesting. At one point, I was like I was clarifying the Nine of Swords. That's what I was clarifying, and we got 7 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, and the King of Wands. So in their fears about this, they're afraid to invest. It's like, it was just very clear. Excuse me. Truth. They're afraid to invest. But I kept getting dreams over and over and over and over. 9 of Swords, 4 of Swords both speak of dream time and nighttime things. There's a lot going on at night, it seems, on the King of Wands end, or at least in the King of Wands psyche. Okay? And again, telepathy is a thing for some of you, not all of you. I want to make that clear. I did only pick up a few in that. But dreams, there's a lot happening in their dreams. And I did start to get some of that sexual energy. And when I looked at the 4 of Wands, I was like, I was seeing stuff, and I was like, I don't know if I should be seeing this right now. This feels kind of private. It's a King of Wands. They're passionate, right? But they're very much in control of their passion. They're very much in control of their, I want to say, inner beast. I don't know, maybe that's what they refer to as like part of their sexual energy. But I do want to say that that sexual energy bleeds through at night or in their dream time. Okay. And I did get that feeling of like they do attempt to like control themselves even if they're alone, but I'm like, I don't know, you don't really need to control yourself if you're alone, but everyone's different. Um, they just they try to keep it respectful. It's like it's how it was coming through. So I was like, oh, that's nice. So there's that. There's that. There was one other thing. Oh, there was one other thing. Oh, thank you, Spirit. That's right. The way that the king is received. So kind of circling back, but there is a sexual component to this too. So if you've been sexual with this person, right? Um, the sexual experience they've had with you, they felt received in a way that they've never been received before. Um, like like yes, it's a good like match as far as like passion is concerned, but there was something about like being able to be like more wild or more true to their like sexual nature, and almost like in a way where it gave them more confidence because of the way you received them. Okay, definitely a new experience for them. I feel like this is a connection where physical intimacy would be very like sacred, but also very wild too, which is nice. But if you haven't slept, if you haven't had any sort of like physical intimacy with this person, they suspect that you would receive them well. And I have a feeling this King of Wands has not been received well when it comes to intimacy. Um, Physical or emotional, actually, is kind of what I'm gathering. Yeah, physical or emotional. And yeah, I just keep getting like they sense that you would. They sense that you would. I don't know if you've like said something. I don't know if you've like shared story. Again, definitely different kinds of relationships here, from like people who've like been committed for like 3 to 6 months, dating, talking, or like haven't even like made that bridge yet, right? Um Interesting. You know each other through pentacles. I don't know, take that for what you will. You know each other through pentacles. That could be work, that could be school, that could be so many things. You know each other through pentacles. I don't know, take that as you will. I'm trying to think of other dynamics there. A pentacle like relationship, connection, meeting, know-how. Yeah, it's like work, school, teaching, services. Yeah, where money's involved. Um Maybe even, oh, actually even through like legacy, like maybe like you know this person through a family member, like a family friend or something like that. Could even be the case. A neighbor, some of you it's a neighbor. That's interesting. Through pentacles. They're just saying through pentacles. So anyway, those were all of the things that came through. I'm like really trying to comb my memory if there was anything else. I was so bummed, you guys. And I still have the recording, but there's no sound. I can't, I was like, Spirit, what the hell? I don't know. It was almost like, um, I don't know, like this, like something didn't want this message to come out here. Which I think is interesting. Yeah, is there anything else? They want me to come back to what I said in the beginning. Yeah, so Queens, will you allow someone to take the lead in your space? Will you let this king shine so you can shine more? I'm almost like having this vibe of like, with the Queens, you probably have had a lot of experiences where people crossed your boundaries, broke your trust, tried to dominate you, disempowerment. That's the big thing over here. Disempowerment, especially because these, you know, these queens have risen into a new level of empowerment themselves, right? So it's like they don't want, who would want that to be compromised, right? But I have a feeling there's a history there. Okay. Um, yeah, like you've given people too much leeway in the past. And on the king side, I think that's interesting. Like, will the queen let the king shine so the queen can shine more? Coming back to this king energy. I feel like this person, this energy, this king, has probably had to be like dimmed out quite a bit. I'm hearing 5. Why is 5 coming up? 5 could be significant. Um, Something about 5 years. The king might be in their own interesting cycle. Something about 5 years on the king's side. I don't know. Maybe a 5-year relationship, 5-year cycle, 5-year situation, 5-year lesson. I don't know. Something about 5 years on the king's side. Yeah, thank you. This person can burn bright, is what I'm hearing. They can burn bright. They can like radiate. They are bright. Their essence is very bright. But I feel like they've been in situations where they weren't allowed to do that, which is interesting because I think Queens, you may resonate with that too. It's like a shared experience. The Shining, I can't get away from The Shining. Both of you could have an interesting like essence or soul, if you will, or an aura. Like maybe there's something special about your auras. This is interesting. Yeah, foreground. So again, take it as it resonates. This isn't meant to be triggering. I don't feel anything toxic with this. There's something about this king energy being allowed to almost, I just keep getting foreground while you are like back, but it's not a submissive thing. It almost feels like protective, to be honest with you. Hold on, Clyde. Yeah, it almost feels like protective. It also feels a little bit like an extrovert introvert sort of a dynamic too. Excuse me. Excuse me, Clyde. Thank you for the 1999. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, I'm almost getting like having the King of Wands be more in the front. It's just like how it's coming through. Like if you guys go in shared spaces with other people, it's like they do a lot of the talking. They do a lot of the leading. Or if you're in business together, they do a lot of the like handling. Oh, that's interesting. While you just scooch. Yeah, while you just radiate in your throne, queen. Yeah, I just keep getting it's like, yeah, this person wants to have purpose in your space. Like I feel like they want to like handle things. It's like handle. I don't know, it just keeps wanting to come up. So like they may be more like engaged and active and maybe even more social. But that actually frees you up to just do what you want to do, right? Like the Queen of Wands does what she wants when she wants to do it, right? She doesn't give an F, right? She wears what she wants, she goes where she wants, she does whatever the hell she wants, essentially. The purpose this king wants to play or have correlates to that. It's like they want you to just do more of you, is how that's coming through. I don't know, that's kind of nice. I'm just saying. It's like it's not giving me like I will do everything and you do nothing. Like that's not what I'm getting. It's like that's not what I'm getting here. They just want to come in and be the very captivating, commanding King of Wands, right? King of Wands is a leader. King of Wands is a boss. King of Wands is a father figure. King of Wands delegates. King of Wands initiates. King of Wands handles business, right? Entrepreneurial. The Queen of Wands is highly creative. The Queen of Wands is a mystic. The Queen of Wands is very sensual, right? She's like doing magic. She's doing art. She's traveling. She's dressing all, you know, I don't know, sexy because she's a sexy queen, right? The purpose this king finds in the space of the queen gives the queen more freedom. And that's nice. And the Queen of Wands ain't lazy. She's not just sitting there doing nothing. The Queen of Wands likes to be active. The Queen of Wands likes to do things. So if you're resonating with this, it's like you would just be able to do more of what you want to do. Can this be power couple vibes? Sure. Some of you that will definitely stand to be the case. If that is the case though, I just keep getting it's like thank you. Handling of logistics. Handling of like the masculine things, right? Handling of like logistics, paperwork, organizing, scheduling, whatever. And this is like you're the juice. Right? That's kind of how it's like it's reading a little bit. You're just you're the magical juice and like Yeah, I'm just getting like moving the juice in the right outlets. Oh God, that sounded so weird. Um, it's like or creating the proper containers, like or even like foundations, etc., for the juice to be the juice, for the juice to keep juicing. It's like this is really weird lingo coming through. Um, that's interesting. But that's an allowance thing, right? So it's like on the king of wands end, there's this fear that that's like not going to be a thing. That's like not allowed. On the queen of wands end, it's like a fear of the king taking over. But I don't. I again, these are fears on both ends that I think will be worked out in this transformative moment. But it's a window of will, right? It's a free will choice to be able to do that. But anyway, it is a beautiful connection nonetheless. Interesting. We got more actually doing the live versus like when I recorded it earlier. Oh, the moon. I forgot. The moon. The moon energy was really big around the king, and it was actually really bothering me as I first got in the reading, because then I would like go to the king energy and I'm like, what is that? It's like what is that shroud around the king of wands? And it actually was just like, how do I want to say, what the king of wands like feels, but it's like it's deep, it's deep, deep, deep. So like I think the king of wands in this situation probably is very has a lot of emotional depth or even intelligence. But we finally got there because I like kept clarifying, and we finally got the moon out, and then behind the moon was the ace of pentacles and the queen of pentacles. And remember, they had the seven and the eight of pentacles clarifying their fear, right, of investment, which means there's an ace of pentacles there between the seven and the eight, and then it came out with the moon energy. So it's like the deep feelings, the deep knowing on the side of the king of wands that I don't think the queen of wands is aware of, because it was deep down in there. We had to dig for it. Okay, essentially, is that they do want to make some sort of very tangible grounded offer or take something to the next level in some way, shape, or form, because that's what the ace of pentacles is. The ace of pentacles is grounding something into physical reality, but with the lens of the queen of pentacles, to almost make this queen of wands a queen of pentacles, to thank you, spirit, to secure the queen. Ooh. And there it is. We did not say that in the original recording either. To secure the queen. Take that for what you will, right? That could just be a business deal. That could just be a proposal of a project. That could be something bigger, depending on like where you're at in this connection. But they want to secure the queen, and they see a very clear, it's not just seeing, it's feeling, right? It was in the heart. Thank you, spirit. It was in the heart space. The king has a very strong heart knowing of purpose around this queen, and they want to secure that. Okay. um Interesting. Yeah, so that was all. Almost 40 minutes of talking. So that was the channeling. That was the love channeling. I will probably, hopefully I will get to talking a little bit more about what happened on Monday and this past weekend, and also what could be coming up with 4th of July. It feels big. It feels big. It feels big. Not in a scary way. I'm just letting myself feel into it now. It's almost making me emotional. Yeah, something about 4th of July, man. Feels big. But I'm gonna sit with that probably tonight and tomorrow before I try to do a video on it. Jasmine, thank you for the 19.99. Thank you so much, sis. And I think if any of you resonating with this, I can feel a thread there, which is interesting. With 4th of July weekend. Again, just that channeling I put out on Aloha Friday. The red, white, and blue becomes pink. No longer fragmented. Oh, it's the timelines. Oh. 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 Sorry, having a moment with y'all right now. It's the timelines. Shit, I was gonna make it a separate video, but it's coming out right now, isn't it? Hold on. Let me write down that timestamp for the love reading. I still may do an official video on this because I have a feeling there's gonna be more information that comes through here. It's the timelines. Sorry. I giggle a lot. Hold on. Matriarchal. I'm still going to do a formal video on this, but since we're here, I will tell you. Over summer solstice, when I had that transmission come in, and if you haven't listened to the transmission, I highly recommend doing that, especially before this 4th of July weekend. It was definitely more beneficial before Monday to listen to that. But definitely, you know, never hurts. Never hurts. That transmission I put out, if you didn't listen to it, it is activating. It's like, it's literally has sound activations in it. It's meant to stir, it's meant to provoke. It's not a gentle sound. It's not meant to be that. It is to cause a rising, okay, within you. Only if you feel guided and resonate with that. And if at any time, and if at any point you listen to anything, not just from me, but from anywhere, and you're like, no, then just stop. Just don't listen to it, okay? But around that time, I did get a download. Hold on a second. I don't know how to say your username. I'm going to try my best. Karmakazi. Oh, I get it. Very cute. Karmakazi. Kate, thank you for the 2222. Thank you for this reading. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. There are a lot of unions happening. There are, and it's kind of mind-blowing. Like, when I started getting these love channelings, I was like, oh shit, like, okay. And then it's like you just kind of started seeing a lot of them coming out, and it's like, oh, it's time. But it makes sense when we go through these like crazy windows of these timeline anchoring and collapsing, because also when we speak of collapsing timelines, we are also anchoring timelines as well. Okay, but let's come back. So around the summer solstice, I did get, shit, hold on, let me do a timestamp. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, around summer solstice, actually, I want to say before that transmission, I was in ceremony and I did get a download about the matriarchy being seated. And I think I spoke about it actually in one of the weeklies or Aloha Fridays or what have you, that the matriarchy has been seated, and to not like allow like fear or illusion to convince you otherwise. And when we seed things, even if it's like a collective seeding like this, excuse me, it can take time to like really see it come through in the physical reality. Some people will see it before others, right? Depends on just where you're at and how you're involved in it. But the matriarchy has been seated. And then a few days ago, this was it Saturday or Friday? It was Friday or Saturday. It was before this big blast on Monday. I was in ceremony and I heard the matriarchy has been fertilized. I was like, ooh. And I move energy a lot when I'm like in this space. And as I was moving energy, I saw this like almost like these almost like water, but it was pink, and it just like out. I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay. And then we had this big blast on Monday, which was just yesterday, which already feels like it was 5 days ago. As I'm talking about it, they said because I'm talking about it, the time is already getting wonky. Interesting. So come 4th of July, it does feel like an anchoring. 4th of July feels like an anchoring of that. However we choose to align to that. And something else it's reminding me of, you know, I was getting those messages about the red path. Hold on. I might have to do a couple videos. There's a lot here because I'm even being reminded of other things that came up in my ceremonies where I'm like, oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, that. That. So there are three major yeah, I see it. There are three major timelines that are merging, you could say collapsing, to anchor in this higher heart chakra energy, to anchor in this matriarchal energy timeline. Okay. There's a blue path that I haven't been reading for. I I just haven't been getting those messages. I've been getting messages about like the red and the white path, right? So like when we were speaking about that, the 1010 stuff that was coming through, there's a blue path that people, that a collective, thank you, that a collective has been on. All of them are merging into this pink timeline. All of them are merging into this higher heart chakra. So if you're here, you're probably on one of the, you probably have been on one of the three. And you may have already merged. The white becomes the pink. Okay, thank you. Hold on. This was not my intention for this video, but it's happening. They said this is why I channeled the red path becomes white, or like why the red path and white path are merging. The red path and the blue path have both needed to merge into the white path, and then the white path is going to anchor into this like pink timeline. It's just how they're showing it to me as representation. But again, this like pink path, timeline, frequency, reality, whatever word you want to use for it, it's all the same, really. In the nitty gritty, it's relatively all the same. It represents the higher heart. It represents matriarchal structures. Interesting. But yeah, if you're here and you're watching me right now, you've been on one of the three: the red, the white, or the blue. I mean, there's an obvious association here with the United States, but it's not about that, they're saying. But that's but that's how energy works. Is also what they're saying. It's not about that, but that's how energy works, right? It's like, yeah, it is. Wow, I can't believe I'm gonna be talking about this right now, but here we are. For those who have been helping anchor in these timelines, you know who you are. Oh, it's gonna make me emotional. I just felt my heart skip a beat. Oh, it is. It's making me emotional. For those of you who've been anchoring in these timelines to get here, you know who you are. You know the work you've been doing. It's been fertilized, which means anchoring it in this weekend, over 4th of July weekend. It's not only well favored, but it's highly likely for success. Mm. 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 They're bringing up Uranus and moving into Gemini. I believe that happens on July 7th, if I'm not mistaken. That will be part of this as well. Have you talked about the blue yet? No, I haven't. I feel like I might coming up this week. I love how all of you are so mesmerized by Clyde. I know it's hard. It's like Clyde TV, right? Like that's how it is when I'm just with it. Like there are times where I'm just like, I could just watch you all day and you're just sitting there, but you're just like so regal. Really curious to hear more of the blue path. Yeah, I am too. Like I said, there's a lot of information here, not to mention other things I haven't even said here that have been coming up. I will do some separate videos for that. Yeah, I need to sit. Like, I need to sit and get organized. Like, the way this just came through has, like, really caught me off guard, to be honest with you. Is this the weekly? No, I didn't do a weekly. I'll be honest, I felt really weird about it, too, because it's like, how can I not do a weekly? But my body was, like, so jacked, and I had to, like, tend to myself, and it was just all the energy that was, like, trying to move, you know? So, yeah, I didn't do a weekly. To be honest, I don't think I will. There's some like just important messages that want to come out, and I feel like I just need to honor that and make space for that and just do that. But also words, sorry. Oh, so much stuff. Also, I am doing sessions again. So I do need more space this week for that. I'm also working on some projects and I do need space for that as well. So also just to say, like, if you guys want to, if any of you are interested in booking with me, my books are open right now. I'm just like, oh, I like that. Oh, that made me emotional. Have you talked about the blue path yet? Everyone's like, talk about the blue path. No, I haven't yet. That will be next. That will be next. Yeah, they're like, don't tune into it yet. Yeah. I hear you. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm gonna sit with all the stuff, but I will say if you're here in the live and you're kind of like taking in what I just said about 4th of July weekend, um, I would just stay really aware of yourself. Okay. Stay really aware of your thoughts. Stay really aware of your mind. Actually, they're bringing up the Queen of Wands again from the love message, the love reading. Don't let these energies mess with your mind. Okay. Again, especially as like things are being released, they're being released. That's why you're aware of them. That's why you're thinking of them. That's why you're experiencing them. It's not for you to hold on to. It's not for you to harbor. It's for you to say goodbye and just let that shit go. Okay. It can be really, really easy to get sucked into that shit. Okay. Yeah, they're showing me the fox. Yeah, that's like giving me trickster vibes a little bit. We'll love to do a session with you at some point for sure. I hear dragons have been prominent. So that was another thing that I was like, they were bringing that. Okay. I want to organize all this information. Yes, dragons have been very prominent. And I will say the water dragons and the earth dragons have already been summoned. That's all I'm going to say. And activated. That's actually all there is to say about that. So if any of you have an aspect to yourself like that, you received your activations for your water dragon self or your earth dragon self. Or if you work with those energies, you work with those beings, there are about to be a lot more of them showing up. Okay. A lot more. Oh my God, there's so much to talk about. Hold on. Let me write some of this down. And I know there's about to be another wave of that, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens during 4th of July weekend. Hold on, Guardians. So that's one. I need another notebook. The blue path. Okay. With higher heart. Okay. I feel like there was something else. This is a great message. Thank you. You're welcome. I bought a purse today that has a dragonfly emblem on it. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Water and earth. I felt that too. Yeah, that came up in ceremony, and I was like, okay. I was like, shit's popping off. Okay. I have a connection with air dragon. Yeah, air dragons will definitely be coming in. It's not just dragons. It's not just dragons. I'm trying to filter what I can say versus what needs to be saved for a more cohesive message here. With the anchoring of this timeline, a lot of people have been speaking of this like a split. If you're perceiving it that way, you're perceiving it that way. I'm not going to say that that's wrong or not wrong. We all have different perceptions. Hold on a second. I feel like I'm actually tuning into like a whole other thing here. Oh, okay. For those who are here who resonate with this red, blue, white path becoming pink, that's because whoever is anchoring in this timeline, who's in this timeline, this pink timeline. I love how they use colors with me. So it's like such a big thing in my world. Um, that's because we can hold that frequency. Not everyone can, and not everyone will. It's not so much a splitting as it is people being put into timelines they can hold for things to fall into alignment a certain way, is how they're saying it. Take that for what you will. So is it a splitting? That's a way of looking at it. It's not wrong. It's a sorting process. Yeah. It's a sorting process. It's also people getting in their positions too, that they actually are aligned to, that they have actually chosen and done the work to align to. For some people are not, like, some people have nothing to do with a higher heart, right? And with that, with the anchoring in of this timeline, there's other timelines, frequencies being anchored in, being held by certain individuals. Okay. And with that will come the proper activations, is what they're saying. With that will come the proper activations. Excuse me. And the proper waves. Hold on a second. What is this? And the proper waves of guardians. There's another word here. I can feel it. They said I can just stop there. Okay. What a very impromptu live. Let's see. It is anyone that related to the red white path anchoring in pink. Keepers. Yeah. Yeah, essentially. Very excited to see what July holds. Been getting lots of messages about the end of July being a time of big culmination payoff. There's going to be a lot of people getting, you could say dharma, you could say blessings, you could say rewards or windfalls. And there's going to be a lot of people that don't either. Where people gain, some people don't. It's just the balance of things, you know? I think for a lot of people, like in this kind of community, there will be. But the illusion will keep illusioning for a while anyway. But they keep bringing it, they're like mentioning Uranus in Gemini. I definitely need to sit with that though. There are still people unconsciously perpetuating end of times so hard. And I get it. Not saying it's wrong. It just is. But there's other things happening. There's a lot of other things happening that are actually really beautiful in its unfolding. I've been having really tough time sleeping, like unusually hard for me. I wondered if it was spiritually related. Absolutely could be. My sleep has also been really wacky. My sleep has been really weird. I only really slept like recently these last couple days because I was like, my body was so jacked. I still can't get over Monday. And it also just makes me feel better that everyone else was feeling the same thing too. I woke up and I literally was like, oh my God, every inch of my body hurts. I was so stiff. I was so out of energy. And Spirit's like, you gotta move. you gotta walk, you gotta stretch, you gotta breathe, you gotta move this energy. And I was like, no. I was like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. Spirit's like, you have to. That's how you're gonna move the energy. So if any of you are still feeling crappy, I know it's hard. I know, trust me, I know it's hard. Go for a swim, go for a walk, even if it's just on the treadmill, even if it's just down the street to your local market or whatever. Like, you like, that is how you gotta like move the energy out of your body. Breath work is also amazing. The moment I didn't hear from Roden, I can tell activation. Yeah, when you're like, oh shit, she didn't show up for a Monday weekly, something's going on. Yeah, something was definitely going on. I can't tell you. That was like, I love walking. I do. I love walking. I love hiking. I like being out and about in nature. And I'm blessed to have in nature like in close proximity to me. I can't tell you how hard that walk was. Like, I rolled out of bed in pain, right? And I'm like putting my clothes on, barely able to put my shoes on. And I'm like not awake. And Spirit's like, just go. You're gonna be okay. Just go. And I walked a mile, and I ended up at a like a local park. And I'm sitting in the grass, and I'm like, ugh. And I'm like trying to breathe into my center, and every breath was just excruciating. And I'm just like, oh, this sucks so bad. And then my walk back is like all uphill and like really steep too. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a rough mile. It's like, I think I stopped every like, maybe every third of a mile, just to be like in pain and misery. Atlas, hey, oh my God, I still haven't texted you back. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know you understand. I know you understand. I slept nearly all day yesterday. Yeah, oh my God, I wish I could have done that. That's all I wanted to do was just be in bed and just achy, you know? I just walked to the ends of the planet. I threw up 3 times. Oh my God, couldn't eat or drink. Glad we're all going through this crazy energy together. Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I finally got back from my walk, and I was starting to feel kind of okay. I was like, okay, good. I got my blood flowing. I did some breath work. I'm like, I'm okay. Like, I'm fine. And then I walk into my place, and this excruciating pain came shooting up the left side of my back and my shoulder. And I was like, I've never felt that before. It's like, what is that? What is that? Actually, yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, there's a download with that. Some of you may have also had that as well. Not just with the back, but like something with the left side of the body, the feminine side. If there's also this anchoring of this like matriarchal timeline. Yeah, actually that needs to be discussed. That'll be another thing. Oh, so much to talk about. It was so painful. I like tried to move my neck, and I was like, it was excruciating. It was almost like I had like serious like frozen shoulder whiplash kind of a situation. And it's better today, actually. It's a lot better, actually. It was a little bit not too happy this morning, but I had a good cry, and that helped. Masculinity was born again. Yes. Slept a ton yesterday, but made myself go for a couple-mile walk with my roommate's dog on the trail. Oh, that's nice. Like being poked or stabbed on the left side. Yeah, it was like I took a sword to the back, like on my left side, and it was so jarring and so sudden. I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, this shit ain't cool. I'm not okay with this. Been so tired also. I figured I had something to do with Uranus and Venus going to Gemini. It will be my Venus return. Ooh, wow. That is it. That's an interesting Venus return. You're gonna have some interesting relationship experiences with Uranus and Venus together in Gemini in your Venus return. Left side, sharp pains from my shoulder through my thighs down to my toes. Yep. Moving helps to move energy. Yes, absolutely. Because it helps to ground it out. Some people like to run and dance. That's like a common way, or even just like breath work, I honestly think is like the best one. But my team was very adamant. Like they were so loud. They were like, you need to get your butt up, you need to move, and you need to move now. It's like, okay. Because when you have that much energy going through your system and you don't move it, You don't shift it, you don't calibrate it, it will just build. And it can start to feel like it really weighs down the body because it's not being shifted out, it's not being grounded out. Again, there's other ways to do that. Um, but yeah, moving helps a lot. Um, hold on. Spiritual cousin, hi. Just caught this live. Awesome. I'm having my spine just go berserk. Oh, hope I'm not activating you. Sorry, that does happen. I'm the housewife with PTSD, and he's the provider and protector. Oh, we met like this. It ground the energy. I'm sorry, grateful for you. Is related to Saturn moving closer to Aries. July 7th is the first day. So I follow Tropic Western. But as far as like the astrology around this weekend, I haven't like looked into the nitty gritty of it, but I do know. Ooh, shit! Hold on a second. My speaking of my left foot is like freaking out and very unhappy. Ooh. Sorry, my left foot was doing something weird as I was reading that. What do I have to say about this weekend on July 7th? July 7th is technically a portal day. But when we're speaking about astrology and these energies, they're windows, right? So even if we're like, oh, like Uranus is moving into Gemini, oh God, I keep forgetting which day. I think it is actually the 7th, if I'm not mistaken. On the 7th, we're still going to feel the building up of that, right? Mercury is in its pre-shadow retrograde phase right now for Leo, right? It's like, it's not retrograde yet, but we're already feeling it because it's already starting to build, right? So this is like where astrology becomes a good tool and a good supplement to understand some of these more like massive meta like waves of energy, but they're not the primary indicators. The primary indication comes from spirit, right? Energy is always at play. Energy is always moving and grooving. And the stars and celestial bodies are part of that, absolutely. But they're not the only thing. They're not the only thing. Earth in and of itself has its own energetics and own energetic dynamics and shifts. We as a collective have our own energetic dynamics and shifts. And yes, we are affected by the stars, but they're not the only indicator. So also why I always like to say with astrology, it's like, it's a fun discipline. It's a fun study, right? But that's also why intuition is important. Just being discerning is important. And just feeling what's actually happening in the present is also important. It's our human brains love to assign meaning to things, and astrology is a way where we can have just a better concrete understanding of these waves. Yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question. That's just how I see it. I'm not saying that's an absolute truth. That's just how I see it. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting weekend. Very interesting weekend. 12/12. Thanks for shouting that out. That's like, I feel like that's been a strong synchronicity in the collective lately too. Is there anything else I feel the need to mention here? So many formulas to feel through. Yeah. That's why I always go with my downloads and what spirit tells me over the astrology. But of course, you guys know I do pay attention. Just looking at Uranus again. I don't know if I'm ready for Uranus to be in my 12th house. I'm like, that sounds hard. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Oh, that sounds like a headache, literally. I heard about that a few years ago. Interesting story. Wait, what story? They're only allowed to cross the Milky Way and meet on that one day of the year. Tell us about the blue path, please. They're telling me not to tune into it right now. So I just got to trust that. Yeah. Kind of hits with this channeling too from the sounds of it. I don't remember what that was like for me. LOL, it's about to hit my second. Ooh, your second? Ooh. I mean, I feel like any house it's gonna do some shit, you know? But like the earth, like any house, it's going to shake things up. That's what it does, right? But I'm like, oh, the earthy houses. That could be really good though. That could be really good. It could be. with it going through my 12th house in Gemini, I'm just thinking, oh, more activations. Like, more activations, even more cerebral energy, even more ideas for quite a long time now. And I think Uranus is going to be in Gemini until 2033, if I'm not mistaken, which sounds like forever. Literally sounds like a headache. Hold on. Definitely could use some good news. Last week was intense and scary. 10th for me. Oh, again, that could be good though. That could be good. Going in my 5th house in Gemini. Oh, see, that sounds like fun. Okay. That's a fun house for Uranus to be in, right? Like just shaking up like creative ventures, romance, social time, party time, playtime. Uranus gets to play. That sounds nice. That sounds really nice. I don't think it's going to hit my 5th house for like, oh Lord, will I still be alive? Oh, am I never going to get to experience that energy? Wait, how old am I? I'll be in my 40s. Am I doing that math right? Yeah, I'll be in my 40s when it goes to my 1st house. What is that? 7 times 4. Oh, I don't know. I might not make it. Depends on how the world is when I'm like in my golden years, when I feel Uranus in a Scorpio. 60 days apart, both born on a Wednesday. Gemini is my 7th. Ooh, also could be fun. Also could be really fun and exciting. We're both 40 years old. Let's see. Gemini, Jupiter in the 11th house, and I'm an introvert. Maybe you're not going to be much of an introvert anymore. Maybe just energy won't allow you to be. You were born with Uranus in your 12. Oh, that's an interesting ride. Uranus for me natally is right on my descendant. And I was like, great. Perfect. Just what a Scorpio, Cancer, Capricorn would enjoy. Like unexpected twists and turns and chaos in relationships. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for that. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. All right, guys, I gotta hop off. There are some things I still gotta do tonight, but yeah, they said no. Okay. Like I said, check out the site, Patreon, bookings if you want to book with me. And I'll see y'all very soon. Got some channels to give to you guys, so there's that. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off here and hope you guys have a great night and a great week until I see y'all later in the week. Okay? All right, guys. Bye. Take care. Have a good night. Clyde in the background. Oh, his little ear. Everyone's like, good night, Clyde. Hold on. Hey, I don't know if I said hi, Marcy, but hello. If you love this live and are feeling the vibe, be sure to like the video to get it out to the people that need to hear it. Yes, please like the video before you leave because it really does help to get the messages to the right people. Okay. Going back to watch the first. Good night. Yeah, love you guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.